me. Give in to your pride.
Hello plebs, so this is a audio based video. Feel free to tab out and do whatever the hell you want while you listen if you care enough. So anyway, we've got the European Championship 2017 basically underway now. I think it's like round 2 or something. We have my prediction here, I guess, is what I'll go with. It's a very, kind of rough idea in my head how I feel like it's really going to play out in top 32. So, I mean, I'll probably be wrong because I'm stupid and stuff. So this is kind of just how I think it's probably going to shape up to be. It's a brand new format and we haven't really had any major events whatsoever that kind of like dictate or really kind of paint a picture of what it's like or like what it's what the format kind of like seems like it's going to be, or like what the best decks are. I mean, we did have an ARG like 2 weeks ago, I think, or something, a week ago, and that was, well, I think 32 rapiers in top 32, top 16. So I mean, it's safe to say that I really would not be surprised if 32 out of 32 decks in Euros were just completely like, swamped by Zoo. And yeah, I totally could imagine that happening. But hey, I thought I'd put up a little bit well, some kind of balance, I guess you could call it. This is sort of how I feel it's going to kind of play out. So I think with the hits on the ban list and stuff, with like the fusion sub, obviously that does weaken Pure Zoo significantly, like more than other decks. But I think that Pure Zoo was just at such a high level in the first place that it really kind of just doesn't matter. Like they didn't really need to draw like 5 cards turn 1 to be super good. I think the deck was just always just really good at just like top deck any level 4 you could get back into the game. You just make like really powerful like boards that just stick, that you can build like every turn. It's got a lot of great stun mechanics to it with all the hand traps and stuff that you play, and like the back row, and like I said, like your main monster engine just works with 1 card, so you can play so many defensive cards in the deck. True Draco and True King, I think, is a really powerful deck, and I think it's really strong, but I think it was just overshadowed by like fusion sub so much. So I think it will grow in popularity, but I still think that Pure Zoo will be better than True Draco and True King. I put True Draco and True King together because like I feel like you probably have to play a bit more of a heavy air engine, since like Zoo's like missing quite a lot of cards from the main deck now. Like they've lost like Terror Tops, Instant Fusion sub, and Black Shoot. That's like 7 cards out of your main deck. So you probably have to play a lot more like True Kings and stuff, and like maybe a couple more of the like the traps and like Succession and all that kind of stuff. I don't really know like how you'd perfectly build a deck, but like you would have to put in more of a different engine essentially. So I think that makes the deck a lot more powerful, just because the best deck got weaker. So I don't think really the deck got more powerful per se, but I think that because the best deck got weaker, it kind of makes it out to be more powerful, if you know what I mean. So regardless, I still think Pure Zoo will be the best deck. So I'm giving it about 14 spots, True Draco, True King about 10. That's really about it realistically. Like that's the 3/4 of the meta is going to be around about that. I like, maybe even like 2/3 I wouldn't be surprised about. So it's just really strong. Now for the last portion, it's kind of just irrelevant. Like this could go anywhere. Like I mean, it's just really how many masterpieces are we going to see at Euros? How many people are going to be playing Paleo? I think Paleo it could be quite a good strong meta call, depending on how popular Pure Zoo is, because obviously that deck struggles against a masterpiece. But if everyone is just playing Pure or Kaiju Zoo, it's like, well, it's not really a big deal for Paleo. I mean, Paleo was arguably the best deck when Pure Zoo was at full power, and it's like 3 ban lists later or some shit. Well, not 3, I think literally 2 ban lists or something. Paleo hasn't been hit at all, and yet it just hasn't ever dominated an event for whatever reason. So I think Paleo could be a totally good meta call for this event. I think it could be really strong, but it's kind of just, it depends on how much of the showing of Masterpiece is realistically. I think if Masterpiece is really prevalent, then Paleo obviously falls down. If there's more Pure Zoo prevalent, like in terms of like actual tournament entries, then Paleo gets stronger. it's just, you know, it's the cyclical nature of the meta. You know how it is, like. And I've got Pure Draco down as 2. I don't think that like Pure Draco is super good, honestly. I just think like it plays sort of like Monarchs, but like just worse in pretty much every way. It's like terrible at getting advantage, and it really needs like 3 to 4 cards to like be able to like play out a turn like really well, whereas Zoo can play out a really good turn with just like 1 card or 2 cards. Yeah, so I don't think Pure Draco is particularly strong, and I think that if you're going to play Draco, just put Zeus in it. You'll make your deck a lot better and stronger in just every shape and form, consistently, powerfully, like just every bit, every way your deck will just get better if you just put Zoo in it. So I don't really see what advantage Pure Draco has over like a Draco Zoo deck, realistically. And then for like these last 3 spots, I mean, this could be anything, like literally anything. I wouldn't be surprised if like it's like at such a big event like this, there's always some crazy bastard that like comes up with some weird deck. And I've got Magicians there, so the Magicians are legal for this event, the new Pendulum Evolution set. I've played that deck a lot. I've tested it a decent amount. It's really strong. I do like it a lot, but I mean, I think there's 2 factors that make it not be able to. I don't think that it's proportionally this much weaker than Zoo. I just think that, number one, obviously the fact that it's only legal today means that, you know, statistically a lot of people aren't going to get a hold of the cards in time. Despite the fact the deck is super cheap, it's really not that hard to get them all. I think like there's like 2 ultras per pack or something like that. So I mean, it's really easy to get a hold of, and it's really cheap. Like I went on eBay yesterday and I was like looking up like the basket to see roughly how much it comes to, and it was like £30 for like the entire deck. So I mean, it's possible to play for sure, to get hold of quite easily. But you know, like a lot of people maybe haven't tested it so much or haven't really got around to like playing it a lot. So yeah, I think it'd probably get like 1 spot, and I totally think like you could play Zoo in it. So if it's a Magician Zoo that tops, like I wouldn't be surprised, because I feel like maybe even Magician Zoo is better than Pure Magician, just because like Barrage, like being able to pop your scales and like Tridenting your own scales, it can be really strong with like when you combo with like Ages, and I think Star Time like it lets you send to the grave as well. So there's a lot of synergy with the Zoo and the Magicians. Obviously just the only bad side is like Zoos aren't pendulum monsters. That's really, you know, the only bad thing. And then like Mermail Zoo, because I don't fucking know. Like shoutouts to Drone Porter, I guess. Like just like I said, like for these last spots, it could literally be anything. You know, Invoked Wind Witch I think could totally be in here. I wouldn't be surprised if that gets like 1 or 2 spots. I mean, I've got this last spot here down as totally rogue as fuck. I mean, like I said, it could just basically be anything at this stage. I feel like with these kind of formats, when you have essentially like, you know, a tier 1 format where you only really have realistically like 2 viable decks, or it's not strange to see like one like random like thing kind of just creep in, because you know they've built their deck so tailored to beat the meta, that they just play meta all day, and you know they get that game 1 advantage. They're super prepared for like games 2 and 3. Their opponent maybe doesn't really know how their deck works, because it's rogue. So you know, like I wouldn't be surprised if like just anything just random got up in here. I mean, like even Zeus like being put into anything, such as a Minerva deck for example, could be in here. Obviously that's way weaker now without Norden. I think that Minerva deck took a huge hit with Norden being banned. Zeus being splashed into everything I don't think is particularly strong anymore, because like Terratop was such a powerful play. Like the fact that you could have like a 1 card like plus like 3 or something was just really strong for like decks that didn't play Zoo to include in the deck. So I think the hitting of Zoo has made decks like Minerva and stuff like a little weaker, because they don't have that like power that engine once brought to it without Norden and Terratop, I think. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there was an Invoke deck. I didn't put Dino here at all whatsoever. I think there could be 1 Dino. I'll eat my words if there's like 3 tops. Like I'll say I was wrong. But yeah, it's just that deck just seemed to fall flat on its face, didn't it, guys? Like I don't think anyone really would have expected the deck to do as badly as it did. now. I mean, I think everyone was pretty hyped for like Diagram, Petrodon combos everywhere, and Nat Beast VFD turn one. We were all pretty spooked out by that, and it just hasn't. It's just done nothing. It's just done nothing. So I'll make a a video on the Sunday comparing this list with what we get from the actual tournament results. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, this is my top 32 predictions. Let me know what you guys think below. What are your predictions and how do you see it unfolding? Thanks everyone for listening, and I shall see you next time.
Come, face me. Give in to your pride.